folks, Steve the Hurricane here. It's Sunday night. It's time for another exciting episode of A Drink with the Hurricane. Cheers. Alright, so now it's time for the marketing tip of the week. And if you watched last week's episode of A Drink with the Hurricane, I told you I'm going to do a three-part series on the Objection Cycle, which is the final part or final component of the Art of Closing presentation that I'm going to give at the Hurricane Marketing Bootcamp in February of 2015. This is the second step of the process. And it's actually a two-part step, but it's a quick step. So last week I talked about how when somebody gives you an objection, the first thing you want to do is you want to agree with the person, or you want to acknowledge what the person said so that you can get them to realize that you're on their side and you actually listen to what they had to say as an objection. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to do some kind of a transition or an interjection. So you first agreed with them, you acknowledged them, now you're going to transition it by saying however, or but, or now, Mrs. Smith. That's our transition. The third step is to answer with logic. Alright? You got to remember, in what we do, when we're talking with social workers, we're talking with physicians and nurses, we're trying to get them to refer us business. This is an emotional attachment. Even if they're making a referral and they're coming from a place of logic up here, they're dealing with people who are going through an emotional time period. And anytime somebody's emotions are high, always remember, high emotions, low intelligence. High intelligence, low emotions. People are making decisions based on how they feel. You have to bring it back to the logical reason. So I acknowledge that Mrs. Smith is not ready to make a decision today. That's perfectly fine. However, transition, now I'm going to answer with logic. Mrs. Smith, today is Tuesday. Your discharge is Thursday. You have 24 hours to make a decision. It's already been predetermined that you cannot go home without help. And unfortunately, there's no one there that can help you. I've been doing this for 10 years. I do not want you to go home by yourself and end up coming back here and going through this all over again. Do you want to go through this again, Mrs. Smith? Obviously, the answer is no. So then, Mrs. Smith, let's move forward. And that's a great way to do it, because now Mrs. Smith is sitting there. Or I'll even go further, the social worker, she's not sure, she's busy, she's in a meeting, whatever. Totally understand that you're in a meeting right now. I don't want to bother you. Tell you what, I know I'm going to come back here again and again and again to see you. How's about this? I pull out my calendar. We can schedule it right now, a time that's good for you and me on the spot, book a meeting from a meeting, and then I can come back on a time that's good for both of us. This way we're not wasting time. That's answering with logic. That's coming back and making sense. Now I get my appointment, I get the sale, or whatever the case may be, all because I followed those two steps. And folks, this right here, this is just the second and third step. I didn't even go over the last part, which I'll go over next week. But this is all part of the Art of Closing presentation that I'm going to do at the Hurricane Marketing Bootcamp in February of 2015. We already have dozens and dozens of people signed up for this event. Space is running out. Do not wait. Sign up now so that I can give you everything you need to blow away the competition. So the question is, I know I'm going to be in New Orleans, February of 2015. Where will you be? So folks, I'm Steve the Hurricane, and remember, don't just beat your competition, but